trying to back my car out of a parking spot in a rest area off the Massachusetts Turnpike. Except I can't back it out because there's a dog, this little white dog, and he's like right here. He's like 19 inches from the wheel. He's not under the wheel, but he's close enough that he could be under the wheel. And so I'm waiting, and there's a leash on the dog, and it's attached to a woman, and the woman's on her phone, and she can't see the plight that I am in. I'm in a rush. I need to get out, and I'm waiting. So eventually, she just turns a little bit, which extends that space by about 7 inches, and it's just enough, I think, that I can get out. So I start backing out, and I've got one eye on the dog, and one eye on the car, and one eye on the dog, and then crunch. While watching the dog, I have hit a car in the lane behind me. And so I get out of the car, and I turn around to see what I've hit, and it is not good. It is an enormous F-150 pickup truck. It's like one of those, it's got Hemis and pinions and all the things I don't understand. It's all in this truck. But even worse, it has 2 American flags lashed to the bed of the truck. And I'm just like, what have I done? And the driver gets out, and he's 9 feet tall, and he's got flannel and jeans and work boots. He's got a red beard. He doesn't look happy. And I've seen this guy before, not this particular one, but versions of this person before. I saw them on the news at Trump rallies. I saw them storm the Capitol on January 6th. And I've dealt with these people before. In June of 2018, I was blocked by Donald Trump for tweeting at him, complaining that he was trying to repeal Obamacare. And in 2019, myself and 23 other Americans joined a suit against Donald Trump to get us unblocked from Twitter. And in 2020, that suit went to the Supreme Court, and we won, which meant, well, it meant Donald Trump had to unblock me, which really wasn't that great. But it meant that my name was in the Times and the Post, and that meant that every person that looked like this person had a lot of things to say to me in the internet world, and a lot of their avatars looked like this guy. So I'm bracing myself as he comes over, and we look at our cars, and my Honda Odyssey minivan is completely undamaged, but his truck has a dent in it, of course. And I say, I'm so sorry, and he says, don't worry about it, which is like a punch in the face. I can't believe he's smiled at me. And I say, no, it's my fault. I'm sorry, let's exchange information. And he says, listen, don't worry, it was gonna get dented eventually anyway. And I can't believe it. And I say, no, we can't let this sit. And at that moment, the doors to the truck open, and these 2 small versions of this man jump out of the truck. And they run back, and they say, what happened, Daddy? And this man says, this nice man accidentally bumped our car. And I can't believe what he says. And one boy's smiling at me, the other one has disdain. He's dark and angry, and he's what we should be seeing right now. And I say, listen, let me do something for you. And the boys say, can we get breakfast, Dad? And I say, let me buy you breakfast. And he thinks for a minute, and then he says, you can buy my boys breakfast. And so we park the cars again, and we head back into the rest area to McDonald's. As we walk in, he tells me his name is John. He's an environmental engineer. He goes to places where they build buildings and make sure that those people aren't destroying the environment while they're putting up walls. And he's brought his sons out on this Saturday to bring them to a dig site so he can show his sons what he does for a living. I'm standing in line at the McDonald's, and we're waiting to get bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits for the kids. And I say to John, listen, John, I have to be honest with you. I did not think that this was gonna go the way it is currently going. I say, I'm sorry. Like, I saw the flags, and I saw you, and I saw you, and I said, I just thought the worst, and I'm really sorry. And he says, no. He says, it's so much worse for him on the other side. He tells me that he'll go to a job site, and because of what he drives and the way he looks, he ends up in conversations all the time with people who say things like, I'm not racist, but, or I don't mind immigrants, but, or a lot worse than anything like that. And he says, every time I have to tell them, I'm not okay with what you're saying right now. I'm not on your team. And he tells me that sometimes it actually costs him work. And so I say to John, I say, you could take the flags out of the truck maybe. Or maybe just, I don't know, change yourself a little bit so you look a little more not what I and others might think of you. And he laughs. He says, I got to be just who I am. And his little disdainful son looks up at him and says, I like you just the way you are, Dad. And I look at that little rotten boy. But as rotten as he might be, I think he's right. Like, I think that had I approached that situation and assumed not that I was facing an enemy, but just assumed that perhaps I was going to be facing a friend, everything might be a little better for me and maybe for this world that we're living in. Thank you.